Hey there, my creative friends. This is Kathleen from BeAgainBooks, and I'm happy to be here with another tag template today. This one I'm calling Tag Times 2, and you'll see why. The art principle behind this design is depth and variety, both. And variety also is going to include some interaction because there's some built-in movement in this design. So it's pretty easy. We just have the regular tag shape foundation in the back, and it can be plain or patterned, however you want to do it. And then we have a second tag that is a little smaller, and it is going to get tucked in behind these three scrap pieces. These are small rectangular pieces that overlap and in the middle, and everything is very linear until we get to this top part, which you can decide if you think it needs some curvy lines to kind of contrast with all of the straight lines. Curvy lines are good. We'll see that in a minute. Or you can just kind of keep it linear. So it's up to you. And there are so many ways you can vary this template. So let me show you. I have 3 examples that are finished. This pretty tag. So by the way, this is like a floating tag. So you would need a clip to clip it to the side of the page, or you can use it on a page as a tuck spot with a tag. So this pretty tag is going in my next journal. Well, maybe not the next one. It's kind of partway done. I have some of the signatures, done, and I have some stuff, but let me show you how this tag might work. So on a page, this tag could also, as I say, be a corner pocket and then a tuck behind. But what happens, let me put this away. So we'll work on that another day. What happens is this comes out. So you've got 2 spots for journaling, and then you've got a lot of places to put texture and create depth, and then interaction. So that's just kind of fun. And there's a lot going on. If you want pattern, you can have lots of variety, or you can keep everything just kind of plain. So that's up to you. So here's one. Here's another one. This is just an autumn. So journaling on the back. I've just used a little curvy shape here in that falling leaf. And then here is one that is pretty linear. And there's certainly nothing that tells you that you can't just use already authentic ephemera. So this is a layaway tag, and I've just used that as the background. And then I've put some curvy lines here on this. It's a button tag. So that slides in. So there are some variations of this tag times 2, and I've got 2 ready to do with you. So let's do this pretty nature kind of botanical one first. So I've started with just this plain green cardstock, but it has a nice smooth finish on the back, and so that'll be nice for journaling. And then my second little tag is going to be this Botanical print. So I'm going to overlap the two rectangles that I've used, just a piece of book page, and then this is just an illustration, a scrap. So that's the other nice thing about this, is you can use scraps. And this is just a scrap of a book illustration. And so I'm going to overlap those two here. And so it goes together pretty simply, just one over the other, and you can decide which direction you want it to be. But I will give you a little hint that if you put the first one behind the second one, then the tag is going to slide in easier than if you have it the other way. Then when, I mean, it doesn't really matter. You can fiddle with it and get the tag in. But if you overlap it with one at the back, then you can get the tag in a little easier. So, and you can also vary how far up and down, you know, you want it to be. If you want this to be higher so that it covers up more of the tag, then that's okay too. So you just overlap those two images, and then you just come in and put a little glue here to kind of close the belly band there. Okay. And then once you get it closed, then you can do, you know, what you want to embellish it. And I'm going to take this little bit of a label, and I'm just going to kind of overlap this down here. Put that there. And then I've got this really pretty sticker. It's a Hobby Lobby sticker. I can't remember, you know, which one it comes from, but it's a package of stickers that I use all the time. So, and then I'm just going to overlap that here. The colors match perfectly. I'm going to trim this off. And then this I'm going to use for a topper at the back of this first card. So let me get my stapler out. I'll just put a staple in that. Oops. Oop, I'm out. Hang on. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm just going to use this little whale tail. So because these inner tags are covered up and decorated on top, I'm just going to leave them plain for the most part. So that now is just going to slide in there. So this is just kind of like a variation of my peekaboo pockets, right? Yeah, I think it works really well. So that's cute. I like it. Okay, now this second one, they don't all have to be simple. This second one is a steampunk style, and It's a lot more complicated. And because of what I've had to do, I've had to do some of it off camera. So I have, these are my little scraps. You know, I kind of was drawn to this little scrap of embossed paper, and that's why I decided to do a steampunk one. And so I've gotten into my little metal container and pulled out some metal pieces. This is a little pen nib. I think you can see that. And I've just attached with the jump ring this little chain and then another gear. And then this is a scrap that I got out of my steampunk scraps. And I have just put that second metal gear. I've already glued that on. And the reason is because it was, with my eyesight right now, it was too hard to do this fiddly little jump ring business on camera. And so I just decided that I would spare you that business, and I've done that ahead of time. But I think that I'm gonna go ahead and sand a little bit of this so that design comes out a little bit better. And I should have done that, you know, before I put the pen nib on, but I didn't think to do it. But that's gonna make that a little prettier, I think. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so this one is gonna look really complicated, but it's still the same principle. So we're gonna put this at the back. So we're gonna do kind of a mirror. We're gonna have this come, and then this come here. So let's do that. It doesn't matter which one goes on first until you're ready to get it stuck down. But this one is definitely going over this one. So now we will, you can see that I had to sew that pen nib on because it was not really able to. Okay, this is going to go underneath. And we'll glue that like that. And now this is going to come over here and glue on top there. I want to move that up a little. Yeah. Okay. All right. I like that. And then this is just the funny little tag that I made. But it's got a nice nice room on the back for journaling. And so that just slides in there. Okay, sometimes the glue spreads, so I'm gonna come in, and then there's the knot, you know, behind that pen nib, so this is gonna be a little more tricky to get the tag in and out. Okay, now I need to glue this down. I should have done that before I glued the chain. That's okay, I can do that. Okay, I like it. Now for the topper on the back. I couldn't decide. I've got these two pop can lids, and I couldn't decide whether I wanted this small one or this great big one, which I kind of like, that big one. So I think how I'm going to do that is I'm going to glue this to the pop can. I don't think it was a pop can, obviously. I think it was something else. I mean, I don't know. It was maybe chili, or I can't imagine what it was, but it was cool and I saved it. So there's that. And then I want this to go behind. Let's take this tag out. So I want this to go behind, and then I'm going to secure it with this Tim Holtz. I'm just going to push that through. I'll turn it over on the back. Okay, that's cute. I like that. And there's the second tag. Okay, so that's the tag ×2 tag template. I hope that that's helpful to you and that you'll be able to use that in some of your own projects. Thanks so much for spending your time with me today. I'll be back with a new project.